Do you think I've ever had my heart broken?
Yeah.
Have you had your heart broken? I think you have. You definitely have. We've both been through it.
Why do you think we even started this freaking podcast, bitch? Like,
our first episode was literally about love.
Hey guys, welcome back to A Tea with Tita with Kristen
and Niko.
Welcome back.
Missed you guys.
Sharing this cup of love with us. It is tea time.
What tea do we have in our cups?
Tell them.
Water. Because we are severely dehydrated.
Yeah.
This heat has been killing me, to be honest.
Me too. I think I was gonna pass out. But for this tea time that we are doing right now, we thought
it's been something I've been wanting to do.
Yeah, she never got to do it with her ex-boyfriend.
Shut up.
So she's gonna do it with her cousin.
And you guys.
And our family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to play, we're not really strangers, but not the full game.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was I just pulled the questions that I think would be good for us to have a conversation about.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're just going to get to know each other on a deeper level.
Exactly.
As if we haven't already. Yeah.
Give it to me.
So the first one is, and I think this is an obvious answer, but do you think I've ever been in love?
Yes. But I think it's been... One was puppy love, because that was just like, you were just so young. So I think you just did not know what love was. So you were just in that relationship just to be in the relationship.
You know what? Now you're mentioning that, Jay said it, there's the 3 types of love. And I think I've experienced at least the first 2. Mm-hmm. So the first one that you're saying, that puppy love, is the love that feels right. Because in his description, it's the love that looks exactly like the movies. And like,
that's some crazy movie you're fucking watching.
It really was a crazy movie. It was a horror movie.
Yeah.
It was not a love movie. Let's say that.
That's chaotic.
It was that one where it's like, you leave and then you come back and it feels so much better, and then, you know, everything turns to shit later.
It's like high highs, low lows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was the love that feels right. The second one that for sure I experienced was hard love. That one was difficult because it was that love where you want to like make things right, but you realize, you know, you two aren't, well, I don't want to say you two aren't meant for each other, but you two are kind of growing at your own pace, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, you're like not growing together in a sense. I guess you're like growing apart, like you're becoming your own person in that relationship, and staying in the relationship isn't serving either of you.
Yeah, that's hard.
That was so hard. I'm still going through it. But it's okay. Like, I'm healed, or I am healing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm 100% healed, but I've definitely come a long way from the beginning of that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like, honestly, when it comes to relationships, I feel like you don't ever fully heal from your past relationship until you get into a new one. A person can do all of their, like, self-help and do all of that and self-growth, you know, like journaling, dealing with, like, past, like, childhood stuff, going to therapy, taking care of themselves, being healthy, reading books and stuff. But you can't learn how you are in a relationship without being in a relationship. And I feel like relationships will always trigger past things that you did not know were still things that bothered you and stuff. Because it's like, with like my current lover, husband, baby daddy, I went to the relationship because I was working on myself. I was like, I'm it.
I remember.
Like, I'm fully healed. I've been going to therapy for like almost a year. I was running at like 6 a.m.
I know, you're crazy
for that. It was that kind of vibe. I was journaling every day. Like, I thought I was in it. Like, I was ready. I was fully healed. Like, I was like, I can do this. Like, we're gonna be chilling. Like, I'm my own person. Like, he's not my whole world. Like, he's just gonna be an addition. And that fool brought up like internal things inside me that I did not know like were still inside me.
I feel like I definitely experienced that for sure, but now I'm at that stage where it's like, I don't really know if I need a relationship right now. Because I've been that, I hate the word, serial monogamist.
Explain.
It's just that it's a person that's never single for too long. They always end up dating someone.
Oh yeah, I was like that.
But I think the significant thing about mine is that mine usually lasts more than a couple years.
Your relationships?
Yeah, the relationships.
Yeah, you are a very long-term girl.
The long term. And then I realized, like, why am I selling myself short? Like, I can just go on dates with people just for funsies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I could get some, like, free food out of it or something. You know? Well, obviously, I'll pay for some stuff too, but yeah, I just don't know why I was, like, taking things so serious because I was so young, and I still am really young. Or, like, why do I have to hold myself down to a person? Like, I could just meet a lot of people.
Exactly. That's, like, for sure. And I feel like you only learn what you like when you date. Like, you don't...
Exactly.
You don't just freaking go on a date and you just are like, oh yeah, like, that's it. That's the whole relationship. Because I feel like when it comes to dating, you understand the different flavors you like and then the different flavors you don't like. And
I feel like if you just stick to one person, like, how are you really going to know what you truly like?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily bad to date around, or just, like, kind of, it helps you learn about yourself a lot more too. For sure.
For sure.
But on that topic, I like you asked me earlier, like, what is love versus infatuation? Because I think definitely that first really horrific relationship I had was definitely more infatuation than love.
Yeah.
And then I think my second one definitely had more love in it.
Yeah. Isn't it funny though? Like, you look at the, like, that relationship that was infatuation, and you're like, ew.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, what? I don't know. I always think about that, like, dang. Like, I don't know what happened. But anyways. But I think when it comes to love and infatuation, I think infatuation is there when there's good times. And then love comes out when, like, shit hits the fan. And it's like, okay. Or they really piss you off. Or, like, you get in a big argument and stuff. It's like, do you still think that, like, person is, like, worth being around? And, like, you still like them and blah, blah, blah? Because I feel like infatuation's, like, all the lovey-dovey.
It's very surface level, too.
Yeah. When things are going great and amazing, and you guys are just so, like, happy in love, but, like, nothing's actually really happened yet, and you guys haven't grown and gone through life yet, then that's when I feel like, oh, that's going to be when love hits.
That's actually, like, that's kind of similar to what my answer was for what love is. I wrote down, love is trying to make the relationship work with your partner. I think that the effort that you put into the relationship is the love. Because you can just say that you love someone, but it's really, you know, that commitment and, like, the effort that you make into making the relationship work. So I love that. I'm so jealous of Jay and his wife. Like, obviously they're not perfect. I'm sure they have their own fights and, like, downs too, but I love that they have these little meetings about their relationship where they say, what is the one they always ask each other? They say, is this relationship going in the direction you want it to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I asked that, when I heard that podcast when I was still with my ex, it made me think.
You listened to that with your ex?
No, I listened to it myself.
Oh.
And I brought it
with
to
him?
I was still with him at the time.
And, like,
he wasn't listening to the podcast while I was listening.
Okay.
I listened to it on my own.
But it stirred things up.
It really did, because it really did, because he said that, and I said, and it made me reflect, like, is this relationship going the direction I want it to go? And it wasn't. And that's why he's my ex.
That's the story.
It's all love. It's all love. But yeah, it's just, and could we change that direction to where we want it to go? And obviously, like, we're not together, so it didn't work out. It didn't work out. But that's a really good question to have in a relationship, and that really shows, like, the effort and how much they want to, like, work on their relationship and build their love. And I'm like, dang, when is it my turn?
Yeah, you gotta have those tough conversations. I feel like conversations and, like, having conversations that make you uncomfortable with your partner and being comfortable sharing that vulnerability with each other is very important. Because, like, life happens, you know, and there's gonna be things and people are gonna do things and stuff that will just, like, irk you or do any of this. And it's like, I feel like what's always worse is when things are declining or going in a different direction and then no one notices because no one communicates.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I feel like where it's very difficult, because then it's like, how do we stray off? Like, how did we get this far from, like, what we were, like, trying to work on and stuff like that? And I think that's, like, the focus on love, because I think, like, social media and then just movies and everything in general just pictures love as this easy, great, supposed to feel amazing all the time, when it's not like that at all.
No,
you know,
definitely not. It's definitely trials and tribulations and more trials.
And I think it's like something that people need to understand, that like love isn't easy, but it's also not supposed to be like horrifically difficult.
No.
Because I think that was like my problem in my last relationship, because it was so difficult all the time, but I just thought, oh, that's like love. That's how I know my love is like true love, because we both are fighting all the time and argue all the time, but we always work it out and get back together. But then we fight and argue all the time, and it's like, I thought that that's what love was, but it's like not. It's like this, like, there's a difference between arguing, and there's a difference between, like, I guess, having a conversation, like a constructive conversation with each other,
where it's actually helpful,
yeah,
and benefits like the relationship.
It's like what Jay said, like, you have to know how to fight. You have to know how to fight with each other and stuff, and I feel like that really determines a relationship, because if you fight with no purpose,
then you're just throwing words at each other.
Yeah, like wasting energy, all of that stuff, So I think that's where infatuation and like love differ, because infatuation, it's like you don't want to fucking deal with them.
Yeah,
like when things gets hard, it's like, okay, I'm gonna drop you and go to the next one.
For me, I think the infatuation relationship was just, it looked good on the outside, so you wanted to stay. But I think with this hard love relationship, I guess like true love, if you could say, it was, you loved a person enough to know that staying in the relationship wasn't going to benefit either of you.
Yeah, dang, that one's hard. Like, it's like,
tell me about it.
But I think it's good, I feel like, because if you think about it, in that relationship, like, would you be happier now, or would you be happier with him in that sense? It's like, I don't know, like, would you actually be happier with him, or would you still be in this position where you're like, does this fool even like me, kind of thing,
Let's not talk about that. But in that same breath of talking about love, do you think I've ever had my heart broken?
Yeah.
Have you had your heart broken? I think you have. You definitely have. We've both been through it.
Why do you think we even started this freaking podcast, bitch? Like,
our first episode was learning about love.
Yeah, we both have gotten our heart broken and stuff, but I think we both have turned it into something that has been very beneficial and been like a stepping stone for both of us in like our lives, and in just like our outlook on relationships in general, because I think heartbreak is for sure like the most painful thing, one of the most painful things someone can go through because of that kind of loss. But I also think it's something that can be the most impactful and most helpful if you let it become that.
You definitely learn a lot about yourself during the heartbreak too. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like my last heartbreak was the reason why like I fell so in love with myself, that I didn't even know that I could even show that kind of love to myself, kind of thing.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to love, I think back then I like looked at love as a very transactional kind of thing. Even to myself, I think in my relationships I was like, oh, like if I do this or if they do this, like they'll love me or they'll give me this attention and blah blah blah, and it came from like this like lack and need and stuff. And even myself, it's like, oh, if I do really good on this test, then like I'll be happy with myself, or if I do this blah blah blah, then I'll let myself do this, and it's like, why
do you need to?
Yeah, like why can't I just be happy with just being alive and breathing and doing all these small things? And I guess I didn't even realize that how I love myself was just like as transactional as it was like
in a
with my past
relationship.
relationships, like with my relationship with my family, and like how I grew up and stuff. I didn't even realize that unless like I got my heart broken, and then I really had to sit with myself and ask myself why I was thinking these things about myself and why I felt like I needed someone. I'm like, wow, like I can love myself way harder and better than anyone else ever can.
As you should. What I've been through when I've gone through heartbreak is I just don't like anybody anymore.
I mean, yeah, that's for sure a phase, you know.
But I definitely feel like I've come out of my shell in different ways that I didn't expect after this most recent one.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I definitely see it in you.
You think?
For sure.
In a good way?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I totally feel like now, since it's been a while, I'm not going into it, but I've definitely considered going back into that like dating life.
Yeah.
I mean, I had like, if I'm being honest, I like downloaded those dating apps for like one day, and then I saw someone from like my past, and I immediately deleted it that same day, and I was like, no, this isn't the way to go. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, just from that brief like moment of now I wouldn't say vulnerability, more like boredom.
Mm-hmm.
It made me realize how freaking dire the dating scene is right now. It really truly sucks. But it could also be like our location with
area,
where we're at
that's what
too.
I was thinking too.
Yeah, but it sucks.
Yeah.
But now I'm a lot more picky than I was before, because I'm just like, oh, I don't like the way that they take like 5 hours to respond. But I guess that's just like also the bare minimum. Like if you have interest in me, like respond faster than a whole freaking half a day.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, that like I'm not gonna give you my time. Like
it's not a game anymore. Like,
no, I'm too old for that. Like stop.
Yeah.
Like tell me what you want, and I'll tell you if I like it or not. You know.
Yeah. Period. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, but at the same breath, I'm just like, ooh, I don't like the way he uses his emojis. Like, ew, that was like the most corniest text I've ever read. Like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You know?
Like, you don't like the corny stuff?
I don't know.
I eat the corny stuff up. Like, I love that.
What do you mean by what do you call corny though?
That's true. I feel like there's a fine line where it's like cute corny versus like, ooh, why did you just say that?
So remember I told you, it's like, he said something along the lines of like, how do I make you happy?
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, I don't know. It's like, what can I do to help you? Like, that was so corny. Why would you ever send me that?
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like it has to be, corniness is very hard because you have to be very good at being funny about it. Because I feel like...
Yeah. Or you just have to be into the person.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if we're just trying to be casual, like, you don't have to play this game. Like,
yeah. Exactly. Let's like, get this transaction.
Yeah, this is the transaction that I need. Like, let's move it on up. Like, this is not what I'm not here to get to know you. You know? I don't actually like you. Let's just like eat and let's go.
My girl knows what she wants. Exactly.
She's a little confused, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
But yeah. Did we want to define heartbreak, by the way?
Heartbreak?
Since we defined what love is.
Oh. Heartbreak is when you literally feel like you're gonna fucking die after this person like left you. I don't know. I feel like that's how I felt. I feel like it was this kind of thing where, because I was a very my man's in my relationship is my whole world. Like, so of course if they leave, then my whole world is like
dead,
shattered and stuff. It's very embarrassing to talk about right now, but it was like that. I like actually literally always thought about them, was always thinking about them, wondering what they were doing, and like thinking about me and stuff.
But you know what I realized? Because I was like that too. Mm-hmm. Are you in their head as much as they are in your head? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Where are they thinking of you as much as you are thinking of them?
Yeah.
Because what I realized was they're not. I think I'm just a little bit, I don't want to say excessive, but I just, whenever I love someone, and this could be like a partner or even my family, like I just always want to like think about them.
Yeah,
like whenever I see something cute, I'm like, oh my god, like especially with my sister. I love my sister.
Yeah.
It's like Precious would love that so much. I need to get this for her.
Thoughtful like that.
I guess that, but like you can't. What I learned is that you can't expect people to think the same as you.
Yeah.
In terms of that.
Exactly. Like, I feel like everyone is different. And I mean, with love and everything, too, like, different love languages and stuff
that's
like
true,
that.
too.
Yeah. I mean, how would you define heartbreak, I think?
I actually physically feel it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's like the one thing that I feel like emotionally can happen that physically makes you feel sick.
Because I felt that in my heart, like, literally felt like my heartstrings were, like, ripped in half. But at the same time, I could, since I'm Asian, my eyes would get puffy the next morning from crying all night.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, obviously all the emotions that come with the heartbreak. And I think it's also just feeling like you lost something so big in your life. Suddenly you just have to accept that it's not there anymore.
Yeah. I feel like it's like you're mourning, you know? Because it's like you're mourning. I think the biggest thing when it comes to heartbreak that's really difficult is just mourning the life that you had and then the life that you thought you were going to have. Because I think you're just mourning like, oh, like, it used to be like this. Like, we would always do this together.
We were supposed to be this in the future.
Yeah, and that kind of thing, like, oh, in the future, like, we would have been doing this and blah, blah, blah. And I think just, like, mourning that and then learning to, like, let it go is, like, what makes it very difficult and stuff, you know? And then the whole thing about romanticizing how they were just, like, really plays with your brain. It's like, you know, you broke up because they were toxic and you guys were fighting and it was horrible and you were crying all the time. But then after the breakout, you're like,
it wasn't that bad.
They were so great to me.
Yeah,
like,
they were so nice.
And then you think, oh, like, I'll be better, you know? Like, it'll be better because of this heartbreak and what I'm feeling. Like, we're going to change.
It never does.
But it doesn't.
No.
You know?
Not all the time.
Because you're supposed to change.
You are.
You, not them.
No.
You know?
That's why you're not there. You're not together anymore.
Exactly.
You change for the better.
Period. Yeah. I mean, that's the tea, right?
Yeah.
Dang. I feel like we're not really strangers really brings up really good conversations. So I think...
Should we do more?
Want to do a get intimate with your cousin.
Emotional intelligence at its highest.
Yeah. Then you should definitely play it.
Oh, yeah. We'll do this again probably. I like this.
Yeah. Thanks for spilling the tea.
And
sharing couple love. See you guys later. Bye.